This is a very, as I said before, historical night. And I know let's give applause to all the people that put in the hard work, who worked on this campaign from can't see in the morning to can't see at night. And upstairs with Rev, it's coming down soon. And we will not be denied, because we are on the right side. Check this out. We're on the right side of her story and his story. You got to say both now, and I'm down with it. My wife put me in check. Deep check. Thank you, Tanya. We're in a very pivotal moment in the history of this country. We've seen a lot of shenanigans, skullduggery, subterfuge by the former president. I don't call him by his name. I call him Agent Orange. So we can't be led astray, hoodwinked, bamboozled, we've been through that, and you know what I'm talking about. We the land of Plymouth Rock. There you go. And so, in closing, the struggle continues. And for our people of color, today, our ancestors are looking down upon us. And they're telling us to continue to do the right thing. Thank you.
Hey, folks, we are live here at the Senator Raphael Warnock Victory Party, the Marriott Marquis Ballroom C here in Atlanta. Spike Lee just finished addressing the folks here. We are looking for the results that are coming in. So far, about 71% of the vote is in. It is tight. And so it was real tight. And sorry, Israel Houghton just finished performing, and he said he was calling after me. Saw me walk by. He's rushing off to the airport. I was trying to get him over here, but we couldn't get him. He's flying to L.A. So Israel performed a little bit earlier, and so we're going to be joined in a second by Latasha Brown, Cliff Albright, co-founders of Black Voters Matter, Congresswoman-elect Jasmine Crockett of Texas. She's here as well. Earlier, I saw Harris County Commissioner Rodney Ellis. He stopped by. He's flying back to Texas. Actor Omar Dorsey is going to be here as well. And so, hey, guys, what happened? Our volume went down. What happened? My volume went down. I hear myself. Okay, how's my – no, I'm hearing myself talk. All of a sudden, I couldn't hear myself. Am I still up? Okay, cool. All right, so just checking. So, folks, we're back live here at the Warnock campaign. Again, we're going to be chatting with a bunch of different people, wait for them to come in. We're going to seat her in a second, and that is Congresswoman-elect Jasmine Crockett. And so let's go ahead and get her in the chair. And so we got folks who are already lined up, ready to go. And so just get the headset on, and we're going to chat a little bit here. All right, folks, again, so joining us right now here in Atlanta, Texas, she's going to be replacing Congresswoman Eddie Bernice Johnson in Congress, and that is Congresswoman-elect Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine, how you doing? All right, then. We got Jasmine's audio. We're good? All right, folks. So, Jasmine, it's tight right now.
It is.
People keep hitting me. They're like, oh, my God, what's going on? I'm trying to remind them the largest blue counties, Fulton County, Gwinnett County, they're not in. When they come in, they're going to come in like a train wreck.
Yeah, they are.
It's going to be like a train coming in.
Yeah.
Trust me, Herschel Walker ain't going to win 20% of those votes. So if you talk about 200,000 votes come in, it's going to be a cakewalk for Senator Warnock.
Absolutely. It's time for Herschel to go ahead and walk it on out. I'm done with him. Like, listen, I'm stressed that Georgia made it just this close. Like, what's going on, rural Georgia? Like, come on now. Like, the reality is that this is a guy that truly is not qualified to be a dog catcher in the state of Georgia. So I'm so excited for what I anticipate is going to happen for the good Senator Reverend Warnock, because I truly believe that our large urban centers are going to make it happen tonight.
One of the things I was trying to explain to people, look, 1.83 million voted early, and then, of course, you have Election Day. And what I was trying to explain to folks, you got to count numbers. I said, and the same thing happened in 2020. It was like real tight, Ossoff, Warnock during the runoff. And folks were sitting here going, oh, my God, it's tight, it's tight. I was like, y'all, chill out. I said, when this thing gets to 73, 75, 80%, and then when those blue counties come in, you're going to see the rush. And that's exactly what happened.
No, it's absolutely right. I mean, when we think about it, if you're living in, say, a small town of 2,000 people, you can get that 100% in really good, really quickly.
That's easy.
But when you're talking about, like, urban Atlanta, when you're looking at Cobb County, when you're looking at these large.
DeKalb County.
Yeah, when you're looking
Fulton
at these
County,
large metropolises.
Gwinnett.
No, you can't count those votes that fast. So, no, it's going to be fantastic. I absolutely believe that, number one, people stay woke. As much as these Republicans are like, we not going to be for all that wokeness, absolutely. People say, wait a minute, Herschel Walker got a little too close. So some people that were chilling out, they decided, you know what, I need to wake up and get my butt to the polls.
1 second. Atlanta Mayor Andre Turner is now speaking. Let's go to the stage.
Hey, you know you from the ATL when you play Jeezy every time you walk out. This night, this is the day that the Lord has made. And I'm going to rejoice and be glad in it. And you know why? Because we are marching on to victory tonight. My friend, our senator, our pastor, our brother, Raphael Warnock, has done an amazing job in the United States Senate. And so people all across the state of Georgia have gotten to know this man and seen his leadership, seen his integrity, seen his capacity, his compassion, and now they understand what real leadership looks like. And what I know is that by the end of this night, we're going to be sending back to the United States Senate Raphael Warnock to represent us. And listen, people ask, like, yeah, we know he's cool, we know he's smart, but why do you support him? And so as the mayor of the greatest city in the whole world, I just had to say it, as the mayor of the greatest city in the whole world, you got to have an ally in the federal government. You got to have a supporter that knows what your needs are and help you be able to serve the people of this city by being able to help things happen from the federal government level. And so this group of people, each of you, back in 2021, just a year ago, all of you rose up to be able to send 2 Democratic senators to the United States Senate. When we sent Ossoff and Warnock to represent us, we flipped the balance by being able to also have Kamala Harris there to make that decisive vote. To make that decisive vote in a number of occasions. I'm going to give you 2, because they didn't even tell me how many minutes I got, and I can filibuster with the best of them, but I'm not going to hold you up. I'll give you 2 examples. One is we now have the first African-American woman to be on the U.S. Supreme Court, Ketanji Brown Jackson, and that was done by a decisive vote. Were it not for Warnock being that decisive vote as well. We would not have that happen. And two, the second thing is the American Rescue Plan Act. That vote, the Biden infrastructure plan, were it not for to have 50 United States senators plus one, we would not have the American Rescue Plan. And for a mayor, that means so much. We were able to use those funds to help people that are experiencing homelessness. We were able to use those funds to help to be able to get people from haphazard housing and dilapidated buildings, get them into affordable housing that's clean, dry, safe, and warm. To be able to help people that are starting small businesses, be able to help folks that are in a small business that is just trying to survive COVID. We took those funds that were given to us by the Biden administration because of a decisive vote by Senator Warnock, and we were able to help people be able to get through some challenging times. I'm not talking about somebody that I think is going to do a good job. I'm talking about somebody who does a good job for this city, for this state, every single day. And so I say to you, just like the great Congressman John Lewis, I tell you on this night, keep the faith. I tell you on this night, never give up. I tell you that on this night, victory is ours, and it's going to be a great story to tell. I know a little bit of something about close elections. I know something about close elections, and I know something about never let them see you sweat. So tonight, we're going to party, we're going to turn up because we're in the ATL. We're going to do it for the A, we're going to do it for the GA, and we're going to do it for the USA. Let's go, everybody. Let's go.
That was Atlanta Mayor Andre Turner, folks. The excitement is building. Here's the whole deal. Folks have been texting me saying, oh, my God, it's tight, it's tight. But the reality is, folks, Senator Raphael Warnock is going to be reelected to the United States Senate. Dave Wasserman, you often follow him. He just tweeted, I've seen enough. Senator Raphael Warnock defeats Herschel Walker in the Georgia Senate runoff, giving Democrats a 51-49 majority in the Senate. The bottom line is, it's the math, Congresswoman-elect Crockett. When you look at it, the number of blue counties that are out, the number of votes, knowing full well how black folks feel about Herschel Walker. Bottom line is, he ain't getting black votes. And so although people right now are freaking out how tight it is, you're going to see Warnock go up by 20, 30, 40, 50, 60,000. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends up being 150 to 200,000 vote victory by Senator Warnock.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? People kept saying, what difference does it make? We got the majority. And I'm trying to let them know these courts, they're stacked up against us. I'm trying to let them know the reason we don't have voting rights is because we've had to deal with two senators that seemingly didn't want to get off the bench and act like they was on our side.
And
so
you
like
need as many votes as possible because you're going to have races in 2024.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have to sit here
That's right.
and try to win another seat. You want to lock this one down and build on it in 2024.
Absolutely. They're saying that 24 doesn't look as good for us as 22
It's a number of red states.
Yeah. It's a number of red seats. You know, the chances of us flipping them, who knows?
Probably about the only one that's possible is Indiana.
Yeah. Well, and here's the deal. We don't know who's going to be at the top of the ticket for either side right now.
Go.
And that really drives turnout. The top of the ticket always drives it. So if we've got the excitement, then we're in a better position. But if for some reason the excitement lies on the Republican side, the chances of us flipping something slim to none. Not to mention, you know, the Supreme Court, they threw us a Hail Mary with their nonsense, right?
Yep.
So that was one of the things that was fueling voter participation. I don't know if they're going to go ahead and give us any more Hail Marys right there as we're going into another election.
Tell folks what life has been like for you preparing to head to Congress, going from the Texas State House, the U.S. House. It's a whole different world.
It is a different world, but listen, it's so much better than it was on the other side. I mean, listen, in the State House, they've got the state house, they've got the state senate, they've got the governor's mansion. At least I'm walking into the U.S. House, and unfortunately I'm walking into a minority, but they don't have the Senate. They don't have the White House. And so I've got an opportunity to do some things. I'm really excited because this week I was elected as the first black woman to ever be elected as freshman representative to leadership, which is amazing. Unfortunately, we've not had a black woman in Democratic leadership in the U.S. House since, guess this, well, let me see if you know. When was it?
Say it again.
Shirley Chisholm was the last black woman that was in Democratic leadership
Of
in
course.
the U.S. House. And so now myself and Lauren Underwood are the first two black women to enter House leadership. So it's sad, but, you know, it is what it is. So often
Hold
Democrats
up.
you're not finna groove this out.
I got to stop you because today, y'all, is December 6th. Happy birthday, Frankie Beverly.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
In fact,
let me tell you happy belated Founders Day, because I figured you was going to tie it into that some way, somehow.
Hold on 1 second. I gotta do this here. I got to do this here. I got it on speakerphone. I don't know if we can hear. Hold on 1 second, y'all. So y'all know what I'm doing. I'm calling Frankie Beverly.
Which he should be celebrating his birthday.
All right, I'm going to send him. Let me do this here. I'm going to send Frankie a video, y'all. Y'all see how black I am.
California.
Yo, Frankie Beverly, I'm live on Roland Martin Unfiltered. We're here at the Warnock Victory Party. It's your birthday. They playing We Are One, so we're to send you a birthday shout-out. I'm sitting here.
Happy birthday, Frankie!
Congresswoman-elect Jasmine Crockett of Texas. So we just had to send you a shout-out, Frankie, live on the air. Holla, my brother. All right, you were saying.
I don't even know what I was saying. Long story short, listen, y'all need to show up. Y'all need to vote every time there's an opportunity to vote. That's all I want y'all to understand from this election. You never know what can happen. Nobody ever saw Georgia going blue 2 years ago.
Yep.
Georgia went blue 2 years ago. Right now, we're on the verge of making sure that we go blue again. We've got all the power. All you got to do is show up and exercise it. And we can change not only this country, but we can change the world.
Absolutely. All right. Congresswoman-elect, we're going to let you enjoy the party.
Absolutely.
We got other people to chat with. Always good to see you. Thanks a bunch.
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right, then. All right, Deshaun, go get Mark Thompson, Latasha Brown. Bring them on. Omar Dorsey right there. Omar Dorsey. Right there. Just bring them all in. Just bring them all in. So Omar Dorsey for Queen Sugar. He's taking some selfies. And so here we go. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. So, y'all, that's how we do it here. Security sitting there holding folks up, but y'all know how I rock it. Go ahead and take a seat right here. Y'all see my man. He was playing a cool cat who knows poetry on BMF. You see my Queen Sugar. And every week he was on Ray Donovan. I was hoping he got killed. My man Omar Dorsey, what up, baby?
What's happening, Roland? How you doing, brother?
So, y'all, last time me and Omar hung out, we were in Vegas during the NABJ. I had an extra ticket for Lionel Richie concert. I was like, Omar, you want to go to Lionel Richie concert? He was like, say what? Yo, it was crazy.
It was the night of my life.
Oh,
I'm gonna tell
pull the mic up.
Sorry, right here?
There you go.
There we go. No, it was the night of my life. Roland is so famous. He had us in the back. First, Lionel Richie was like, my frat brother's in the house. Where's Roland Martin? Everybody was like, who is this guy? And then we go to the back, hanging out with Lionel Richie, talking to him, man. Roland always said it out. And every time I come out with him, he always says it out.
Yo, it was crazy. So, Omar, man, huge night, huge victory night.
Yes.
Huge victory night.
Yes.
Bottom line is they haven't called it yet, but blue cows are coming in.
Yes.
Fulton.
DeKalb.
DeKalb. Cobb. Senator Warnock is going back to D.C.
He's going back to D.C., and I'm so proud. You know, I'm a native Atlantan. I'm a native Georgian, and, man, it makes me feel so good when we have somebody to represent my state who I can be proud of, you know, and he is loyal to the soil. I remember the work he was doing with Troy Davis. I remember all the stuff he's done way before he became senator, man, and, you know, I'm just so happy. I've been on a trail with him for this whole week, been campaigning in Macon, campaigning in Savannah. We've been everywhere with him this week, so I'm just so glad, man. We're going to party tonight, Roland.
So, man, look, there have been folks who have been putting the work in, making phone calls,
yes,
knocking on doors. I was just, Israel Houghton has been performing all around.
Yes.
T. Nice has been all around.
That's my brother.
I mean, folks really said, hey, we got to get Warnock back to D.C.
That's what it is, you know, because what happened was D. Nice hit me up. It's like, yo, I'm in your city. I was like, well, what you doing? I'm doing stuff for Reverend Warnock, for Senator Warnock. I said, I'm coming with you wherever you go. And, you know, I just rode his coattails all around the state, man, and it's been beautiful. It's been so lovely to see all the people coming out. Last night we were in the West End, and it was such an amazing, different, diverse group of people there, man. And Reverend Warnock, man, he said one of the greatest things. He said Herschel Walker was a great running back. Now we're going to get him running right back to Texas.
Well, see, man, look, I tell people all the time, that, look, you're a celebrity, but you're still a resident.
100%.
You're still a constituent.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. So whenever, you know, when I'm with you in D.C., man, the people who represent me in that state, represent my state in that city, man, they have to make me feel proud. I don't want to be embarrassed when somebody's like, oh, that's your senator or that's your congressperson. Like, no, they don't represent me, but they do. They do, and that's why I'm so glad that we're bringing my man right back to D.C.
Well, look, man, the thing is, tonight, of course, 2 years ago, he was filling the unexpired term of Johnny Isakson.
100%.
Now, he's there for the next 6 years.
Next 6 years, man. I'm so excited about that. Just the things that he does for this state, for the farmers, and this for the underprivileged. This was way before he was the senator. You know, these are the things that we need to be representing us. Like I said before, this is what we need.
Absolutely, Doc. Well, look, man, it's been fantastic. We've been all over the place,
yes,
going to those small towns. We've been to Statesboro, Swainsboro,
yes,
Hinesville, Sanderville,
oh, wow,
Fort Valley State,
yes,
Athens, going everywhere. And that was the other piece. You can't just focus on Atlanta,
yeah,
or DeKalb or Cobb or Gwinnett. You got to go where black folks are. Columbus, Albany, Augusta,
yes,
Macon, all those places.
All of those places, yeah. Like my wife, she's from Macon. So that is her spot, Bibb County. My brothers are from Augusta. That's Richmond County. We saw those numbers coming in from those two places, and we saw coming in from Augusta. From Columbus.
And, of course, Warnock from Savannah.
And he's from Savannah. You know, so these are the places. It's not, like you said, not just Metro Atlanta. We're talking about a whole state. And I'm looking to see those numbers coming in from all of these different places.
Well, man, look, it's going to be victorious. Trust me, this race is over.
Oh, yeah.
They've been hyping the whole drama.
Yeah.
All those smaller red counties came in earlier.
They did 100%. And like the
but this blue freight train is about to come through.
Listen, when I saw my county, DeKalb County, had 91%, I said, that's what we do.
That's it. Omar, baby. Always glad to have you, baby.
Always, baby.
I appreciate it.
Right,
on the blackest political show on this night.
You better know that.
You know it. I appreciate it, baby.
I love you,
All right. Coming up next, come on up here. One of y'all, come on. Cliff Albright, co-founder of Black Voters Matter, about to join us right now. I told y'all how we do it. We doing this thing, y'all. We doing this thing. So if y'all been seeing the Black Voters Matter ads, we've been running 3-4 times a day on the Black Star Network. They got the blackest bus. But Cliff, you on the blackest show.
That's right. We know that, Roland. We know that.
Pull the mic up. Oh, yeah.
That's right. The blackest show in America with the blackest host in America,
That's
Roland
it.
Martin. Thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for all the exposure that you've given to our ads, for being here in the state consistently. You've been a consistent friend of the state. And what it looks like, we've been saying for months now that we won't back down. And now that we're at this point, I think we can clearly say that black folks ain't black down. And that at the end of the day, we're going to be at the heart of this victory for Senator Warnock.
That's why I kept telling people, I said, look, if y'all want to go to the Warnock campaign, fine. I said, but y'all got to send your money to our black groups that are underground. Georgia Stand Up, Black Voters Matter. We could go on and on and on because, look, y'all were out there, man, knocking on the doors, going to those places, having the concerts, and going to the hard-to-reach folk where black folks were.
Yeah, I mean, I've been saying that we did every form of outreach that we could do. We did probably 10 million text messages. We had digital ads on social media, streaming on your show, reaching black voters 2, 3, 5 times. We had phone calls. We had door knocks. We did smoke signals. Those ravens that they got in Game of Thrones, we were sending those out too. We did everything that we can do to reach out to black folks, and black folks responded. And at the end of the day, at the end of this night, we're already seeing it in some of the South Georgia, Southwest counties. Even if Senator Warnock didn't win, what happened was black folks cut into those margins. And so this drop-off that they were expecting that we would see in black turnout, it didn't happen in the rural counties. It sure didn't happen in the metro Atlanta counties.
But, man, this is why I keep trying to explain to folks, you got to be on the ground.
Yeah.
You got to touch people. They got to feel you. You got to have that one-on-one. The food deliveries. All those things are a way to reach people. I keep saying to these white strategists, you got to stop just putting all the money on TV.
That's right.
You got to touch the people.
That's right. You got to touch the people. We were out in the street all day today, just on the street corners, going door to door, having food trucks at different places. We were in a community. We were at the 12th district, the Atlanta City Council 12th district, a place that had 4 polling places that had some of the lowest turnout during the early vote. We looked at the numbers. We know our communities. We looked at the data. We went to those communities. We touched them. And we had a lot of people who would stop by and said, thank y'all for doing this. We don't usually get this kind of attention. We didn't get this attention back in November. We're glad that you're here now. And I think that we're going to see that type of effort and the effort that the rest of the ecosystem did, that's the thing that turned the corner and allowed the turnout to go up, even though people were projecting that there would be this big drop in black turnout on Election Day.
And look, and it was also understanding and said, okay, fine, y'all want to change the rules? We can't pass out water.
That's right.
We can't pass out food. And so when I went out, and of course, Georgia Stand Up, where they had the food trucks right across the street.
That's right.
And they had the water and the snack. So they said, come by before you get in line or come by after you get in line. And so as Deborah told me, they said, fine, we can't be 150 feet away. We're going to be 155 feet away.
That's right. That's right. And that's what we did. And we did that in a bunch of places across the city and throughout the state. We had groups doing the same strategy throughout the state, even in the rural areas, because at the end of the day, can't nobody tell us that we can't feed our people, that we can't support our people when we're online. We will never let somebody keep us from being able to do that. We might have to find a way around it. We might have to move 5 feet further back, but we will always be there to support our folks, especially when we're waiting on lines that shouldn't be that long and are only that long because of voter suppression.
And see, that's why I keep trying to explain to people. When we're talking about these numbers, that what they don't understand is when they say, oh, voter suppression isn't real because look at the numbers. No, we've always had to jump over hurdles.
That's right. We always, the same people that say, oh, there must not be voters.
Now, y'all know this is a black U.S. Senate when they playing swag surfing. Right. Okay, y'all. Hey, Mark, come here. Come on.
We got to end the interview. We got to go out there and surf. We got to go out there and swag surf.
Come on, get up. is the third national black anthem.
That's right. Oh, Lordy. The blackest show in America, y'all.
Blackest show in America. Y'all know swag surfing is the third national black anthem. Lift every voice and sing.
That's right.
Before I let go.
That's right.
And swag surfing. Y'all know. That's what I'm telling y'all. Stop watching MSNBC.
That's right. That's right. Keep it right here.
That's how we do it.
Oh, Lord.
So one of the points I was saying, we've always had to jump over every hurdle they put in front of us.
Yeah. You know, the same people that like to say, oh, you didn't have voter suppression because y'all were able to come out and vote and y'all were able to set a record. Those are the same people that say, oh, Harriet Tubman helped 100 people get off the plantation. I guess it wasn't that hard to get off the plantation. No, that's not what it means. What it means is that we have always done an amazing job of overcoming obstacles, and the same thing applies with voter suppression. Yes, we set records during the early vote over the past week of early voting, but guess what? When you've got voter suppression that takes you from 3 weeks of early voting to just 1 week of early voting, you better set a record on every day of that early voting. You got to, because you're trying to squeeze all that into a shorter period. So that doesn't mean that the suppression didn't exist and the obstacle didn't exist. It just means that we were able to do an amazing job of overcoming it and that black voters responded.
Well, man, and that's what I just keep telling people that, yo, and I keep saying, if we get our numbers to 65,
that's right,
70, 75, we can dog walk elections.
That's right. That's right. And that's what we had to do. We had to run up those numbers in the early vote. But then we still had to show up on election day, and we did both, right? They weren't ready for us to do both. They said, okay, they may come out big in the early voting. We're going to try to whittle that down. But, you know, even if they come out, we got this election day strategy, and they're not going to be able to come out. We did both. We came out during the early vote, and we came out on early vote. But I think that we got to recognize this, because this is going to be the narrative. And we just talked about it, right? People are going to say, oh, Warnock won. Oh, you had big turnout. See, we told you that there wasn't the voter suppression. And that's important, because guess what? As we go into this new congressional session with now 51 votes, and I'm saying it now, I'm calling the race. I don't care if they call the race. I'm calling the race. Right. And so even if we get to 51, at the end of the day, we still got to deal with voting rights. Right. What's happening tomorrow? You know what's happening tomorrow, Roland. In the Supreme Court, they're arguing that Harper Moore case, which would allow some states, their state legislatures, to do whatever they want on voter suppression without having to be responsive not only to federal law, but not even being responsive to their own state constitutions, not even being responsive to their own state courts. So we've got to keep pushing on this question of voting rights, and we can't allow the fact that we overcame voter suppression in Georgia to let them create a narrative that says there's no need for those voting rights.
Well, again, man, we're going to keep that pressure on them and keep pushing. And what I need people to understand is, and this is the last point, and speak to this here, race is over. But this is the end of one process and the beginning of another.
That's right.
Now, keep the same folk together and now say, do what you said.
That's right.
Do what you promised.
And that's accountability, right? And that's what this process is about. We were saying that to people today. We're not out here in these streets just trying to get you to show up on this election for one race or one candidate, right? We are just as much about what happens the day after the election day. That's accountability. We got to get people to act on these issues that our communities have said we want action on. We've done that to a certain extent over the past couple of years. We've gotten things like infrastructure. We've gotten things like investments in climate. We've gotten things like funding for HBCUs. We've gotten a Supreme Court justice named Ketanji. And so we've gotten some stuff, but we still got to keep pushing to get accountability on the rest of our agenda. That's what this process is really about.
All right. Cliff,
my man.
Always a pleasure, my man.
Always,
I appreciate
always.
it, baby.
All right.
Thanks a bunch.
Thank you.
All right, appreciate it. All right. Anthony, you have a commercial over there? You have any commercials? All right, so let's do this here. We're looking for one of the speakers here. What's up, Kelly? How you doing? Y'all good? What's going on? Chilling? You want to chat with me? Don't ask you any hard questions.
Put this behind you.
Okay.
Put this on you.
Okay.
So you good?
Yep. Does it tighten it up a
All
little
right.
bit?
Yep, just press it down.
Yeah.
All right, Kelly Fletcher. Tell everybody, who are you?
Okay.
Tell everybody who you be.
Hi, everybody. Kelly Fletcher of Atlanta. I'm here for Raphael Warnock. Super excited about its potential, and we're going to win tonight. So everyone here is excited. We want to have the best person in place, for sure. We want to have the best person in place.
Absolutely. And so folks are really engaged, really focused in trying to make sure that he got back to Washington, D.C.
Right.
Talk about that. Talk about the energy after people upset he got to the runoff. But the reality is they were still committed to make sure he won.
Right. So I know personally last week I went out to eat, and at the Ponce de Leon Library, the line was wrapped around the building every single day of the week. So I feel like that's showing you how everybody feels, how serious we're taking it. I personally voted at Morehouse as an HBCU grad, North Carolina A&T. I wanted to make sure I voted at a HBCU, and so I know a lot of their students were there as well. So we're taking it seriously, and I think people are doing everything possible to get him in again.
Well, it is the thing here. People understood the stakes. They knew Republicans were going to vote for Herschel Walker.
Right.
They knew it did not matter. And so our turnout was going to be the key.
Right.
And the bottom line is our folks did their job.
Absolutely. There are definitely some people that I can tell have changed how they're voting in the runoff, that voted for Herschel last time, but just kind of having real conversations with people. Everything is not about the traditional campaigning and flyers and everything. That works with some people, but other people need a real conversation. And what are we talking about here? What's at stake? And I think those personal conversations change the game for some people.
When we talk about the issues as well, I was spending time in a lot of the rural places in Georgia, and they were all saying Medicaid expansion,
right,
and seeing these rural hospitals close, and so that was a stark difference between Walker and Warnock.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I used to live in Savannah, and that's a big place with a lot of voters that take it seriously. But some of my work has taken me to rural Georgia before. But again, it's those key conversations that explain to people that we, there are different things at stake, and Raphael Warnock is here to help with those things. I mean, talking about farming, he cares about that. He's working across lines to actually really make a difference in that area, and that impacts people in rural Georgia, and I think some people realize that.
So, Warnock wins. What do you want him to do?
I think
What are your issues?
My issues. So I care about women's rights a lot. And so I know that as a Christian woman, and for Warnock to be Christian and to care about women's rights is a huge deal. So I do want to hold him accountable personally to see that through and where that takes us. So that for sure. Rural rights, like living in Savannah, there's a lot of people and a lot of meetings. Savannah's not the most rural place in Georgia, but there are people that care about what's going to happen with their land. And so I'm hoping that his rural conversations, his farming conversations are not limited to certain parts of Georgia, that they cover a lot of places in Georgia that have land. And so holding him accountable so people of color have access to own land, to properly use the land, and have access to the grants and resources that everyone else does too.
And one of the things that I keep saying, and I almost all the time, is the election is the end of one process and the beginning of another. That we have to continue to be engaged to drive an agenda forward.
Right. The voting side of things, that's got to, Stacey's done a great job and really pushed things. We need to make sure that Warnock, after winning in Ossoff, continue to make sure that those rights are in place on the level that they can, to make sure that all Georgians can vote, but all Americans can vote, and to be, voting in that way when they're in D.C.
All right.
Yeah.
Always good to see you.
Absolutely. Great to see you, too.
It's always good to have a good party back here.
Yeah, it's a great party. It's very Atlanta, and you're welcome in Atlanta anytime.
You know it. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank
Thanks
you.
so much.
Absolutely.
Mark Thompson is about to join us.
Okay.
Come on, Mark.
There we go.
I see you on the dance floor real soon. Come on, Mark.
You didn't tell me I had to be ready.
Huh?
So you didn't tell me I had to be ready. Oh, that's yours. Sorry. Did I put mine on?
You got your phone?
I got
Mark,
mine.
take a seat.
All right.
See you later.
Thank you.
All right, anytime.
All right, Mark Thompson, the host of Make It Plain. He joins us right now on the blackest political show, the blackest election coverage out here. Ain't nobody else doing like us.
No, no, indeed.
Just waiting for the final tally. Warnock is going back to D.C.
Yeah, and some people who we know and trust. First of all, thanks for having me, and thank you for your coverage and allowing us to swag surf with you. Some people we know have already called it, so it's kind of being drug out. We know the other counties are coming in. We know that they are favorable to him and to the to his electorate, his voting base. So I think it's a wrap. He's going back. The numbers continue to go up. So unfortunately, it's being dragged out a little bit longer than we want it to be.
The thing that is key here, black people show up.
Yeah.
And this is what happens when we're on the ground, active, focused, and our grassroots groups are activated and reaching folks where they are.
That's right. That's important, especially when you consider the fact this is the 5th time in 2 years African-American voters and all voters have had to vote for this seat. And so it's really quite an achievement that black voters overcame several obstacles. First of all, we talked before about the mainstream media is pushing this narrative of this big red wave. That was to discourage us from voting. Didn't work. Then we know there's a level of fatigue, especially in Georgia. People in Georgia have had to go vote so many times. This runoff situation, y'all, something's got to be done about that. This is crazy. And Warnock has had to go through this, the runoff at least twice already.
Right, so this is his 5th election.
This 5th election in 2 years. So obviously people are going to be fatigued, but we proved that people will still come out to vote when their well-being, when their lives depend on it. And the most important thing, Roll, I think the thing we always have to remind people of, we ran into a couple of brothers on the street. I've been out with Black Voters Matter doing canvassing. We ran into a few brothers on the street who said, voting doesn't make a difference. And I said to them, when you don't vote as an African American, you're really voting, because your lack of presence for who you want to vote for actually benefits the person who you otherwise wouldn't vote for. That helps. So just hypothetically, if you don't vote and you don't want Herschel Walker to win, when you don't vote, you help him to win, and vice versa. So I think that's a message we've got to continue to push with all of our people, that a no vote is really a vote. And so you might as well go and vote for someone you know, someone you support, someone's going to make a difference. And it goes without saying, Raphael Warnock will help us get what we need to get done in terms of restoring voting rights, John Lewis Act, police accountability and police reform, restoring women's bodily autonomy. All of these things are important, and he'll be able to help us do that. So this is a good day.
So the thing we have next is, again, he wins. You go back 51-49. Democrats had that one vote margin. It's not 50-50, which also means that Vice President Kamala Harris doesn't have to always stay in D.C.
Right.
to vote. She now is also freed up to move out the country more. Part of the reason why she couldn't travel a lot,
good point,
because she'd always be there to break a tie.
That's right. She had to be present, and that probably hindered her. Some have complained that she's not been as visible. Her portfolio has shrunk. Really now there's no excuse for the protocol, because she doesn't have to be there as much. And for the White House to release our sister to go and be more visible and do some of the things she needs to do. Now, I'm going to say this, and I've said it before. Most vice presidents, as soon as they take office, there is some type of runway in place,
right,
for them to ultimately succeed the incumbent president. And that should be no different for this vice president. She shouldn't be disqualified from that just because she's a black woman. And so now there's no excuse. We want to see more Kamala Harris, want her to build her profile so that whatever happens in 2024 and beyond, there's no reason why she should be disqualified from running for president.
Is this the blackest campaign victory party you've been to?
Yeah, it's very black. Music's black, we dancing up in here. This is a great celebration. And it's also historical because we are here really where a great deal of the civil rights movement was based, in a community that is known for its HBCUs, in a community that is representative of black economic business and success in terms of a city. So this is historic, and it's about time that we've been able to show just how meaningful the vote is. Our friend Tamika Mallory just posted something on her Instagram where she said, black people have saved America again. Look at all these elections. Black women had to stop Roy Moore in Alabama. He was going to be on the Senate. Once again, the African-American electorate has stood up and showed out. And, you know, we just want to make sure that
they not going to play King George. Don't leave. Go ahead and leave. Wow. And one woman got to have 3. I told y'all. This the blackest party. They got King George. She don't give a eye.
When they tell.
Go ahead and leave. Oh! Woman to lift you down. One woman just to lift me up. She don't give a leave. Go ahead. Out the door. Come on, King George.
Yeah, it's real.
First of all, I got some fool here. Official Don. Roland comes off his fake. Official Don, get the hell off my page. Oh, gotta keep on rolling. Oh, you gotta keep on going. Come on, y'all. Oh, yeah. Come on, look. Oh, they got King George.
Latasha Brown, ladies and gentlemen. Dance with Roland Martin live on the Black Star Network. Amen. Lord have mercy. Hey.
Mark, I gotta get you up. We got the mayor here. Mayor put the headset on right there.
Good to see you, brother. All right.
Take a seat right there, Mr. Mayor.
Put it behind you. We have some cushion. Okay.
Mayor, I was just saying, this is the blackest victory party ever. First of all, we got the blackest show.
Yeah.
We were swag surfing early.
Swag surfing up in here.
You ain't going to see that on MSNBC and CNN.
They can't keep up with this crowd, man. The Roland Martin Show, all of us here in the ATL, swag surfing.
And you can tell, we ain't got no one camera.
Oh, yeah?
See, they got that one camera over there.
Yeah.
Now, we brought the whole thing.
Oh, my God, man. Y'all got all the cameras, bro. I see it. Y'all live in 4K, 3D, and all that.
That's it. Man, folk been texting me all night. Oh, my God, it's close. I said, chill. The train is coming.
That's right. Listen, I'm over there looking at the county breakdowns. DeKalb County is still at 70, 80%. That's 20% more in one of the largest counties in the state, and it's mostly Democratic.
It ain't like Herschel going to be getting.
That's right. Herschel ain't getting that. And then Chatham County, where Warnock is from, which is Savannah, they are still sitting at like 75%. So we got some really important Democratic, mainly majority black counties that are still outstanding. Herschel ain't going to get this thing done tonight.
No.
It's going to stay Warnock.
Well, first of all, I just saw it. Warnock up 1,900 votes. And I told everybody, y'all, it's going to go 10,000, 20,000, 30,000. Because 2 years ago, same thing. Folks were stressing. I said, y'all. The train is coming.
The train is coming.
I said, the train going to come on time.
Yeah.
And when that train come through, I said, y'all going to be like, oh, that.
Yep.
I said, Fulton, Gwinnett, DeKalb,
Cobb, and Clayton. Yep.
Clayton.
We get them folks in, it's a wrap. And so,
if he didn't have a 200,000 vote lead.
Yeah. He need to be way up before them people come in.
Right.
And so our people here in Metro Atlanta are doing our job, man. We knocked on doors. We went out there and made phone calls. We sent text messages. We were out rallying, making sure people knew, because this is a different kind of state. You have to vote twice. And you think about how hard it is to get people out to vote. But in Georgia, we have to do it twice when we have a runoff, which means we have to motivate people again, educate them, inform them, and then tell them what the consequences are. And so as a mayor, the consequences are steep. In a Democratic city, but in a state that could go either way, you need to have an ally like Raphael Warnock up in the U.S. Senate that makes things happen for the city. And so, but for Raphael Warnock, we would not have Ketanji Brown Jackson, our first African-American U.S. Supreme Court justice. That vote took place here because Warnock and Ossoff. And then the American Rescue Plan Act, where cities like mine had millions of dollars to help with COVID relief for homeless, for small businesses, for affordable housing, also for public safety, on and on and on. I could talk about how impactful my friend Raphael Warnock has been. And so tonight we got to go home with the victory trophy so that this man can go back to the U.S. Senate representing Atlanta, representing Georgia, but representing the United States of America.
One of the things that I keep trying to do, I know they did.
You see this? This is the ATL, bro.
Yo,
this is the ATL,
they haven't played
man.
too short.
When you playing this kind of music at a victory party, now I know at many victory parties they're playing the Bee Gees,
right?
And they're playing Bono and U2, and I
y'all
love
gotta
them
understand.
too.
The man's a Kappa.
I'm a new.
I'm an Alpha. So y'all know I want to hit that A step. Founders Day was 2 days ago.
I saw your post.
It's a little hard when that come on. You are So you know.
Hey man, it's the HBCU headquarters, man, of the United States, man.
Well, the point that you were making, I tried to explain to our people. We got to connect the dots to understand how DC Power drives Georgia, drives Atlanta, drives South, full South.
Yeah.
Because, and too many people like, man, except on man, I'm like, no, you don't understand. There's a direct relationship. You just don't understand how it's linked.
Yeah, it all works together. You want to have political friends and relationships across the country. What's going on? What's happening? Oh, we up. We way up. Like we said, we have done our job. Warnock has done his job. And the people of this state are making a clear decision. Even though this state was red at once, now we're back blue, in my opinion. And now you see what it looks like. And then, I mean, to be frank with it, man, I'm on the Roland Martin show, the Unfiltered show.
And I own it.
It's a slap in the face for them to put what they think was just a black man up against a black man.
Right.
Black people. Woo! They called it.
Boom!
They called it. Right now. Right now. Right now. Woo!
Boom!
Let's go. All right, I got to hit the stage. Hey, man, we did our job.
Yes, sir. Man, I appreciate it.
All right, now,
appreciate it.
Now, when all your viewers come to the ATL to visit their cousins, they got a mayor named Dre, and they got a U.S. Senator named Raphael. All right.
All right, baby. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Latasha, we told y'all this thing was over. We told y'all that train was going to come in. We told y'all an hour ago this was over. We told y'all an hour ago this was over. What did we tell y'all? Oh! All we do is win. What? Yep.
Thank you, yes.
Everybody hands go up.
And they stay down. And they stay down. And they stay down. Up, down, up, down. All we do is win, win, win. Hey!
Oh!
Hey! We told y'all. Let's go.
I'm trying to tell y'all, Latasha Brown, co-founder of Black Voters Matter, black folks did they damn thing.
Black folks did their thing. We told them, don't come play at us. They underestimated us. They underestimated our power. They thought all they had to do is get a black face to put on a white agenda, flank him, and because he had run a ball, that in some way we were going to support it. And what we did is we showed them, don't play with us. Don't play with us. Don't play with us in GA.
And our folks, look, they were in those lines. They showed up doing early voting, and they said, well, the GOP going to turn out on election day.
Oh, no, we did our thing. You know, but part of it is we also were responding to the voter suppression. That at the end of the day, there were so many barriers that we actually had to deal with in this particular election. You know, in the last time when we voted, in 2021, we had 8 weeks that we could actually vote, early vote. And 8 votes before the election. This time it was truncated and half the time. We only have 4 weeks. In addition to that, what we also saw is a major drop in mail-in voting. So there was a 1.2 people voted in mail-in voting last election cycle. What we saw in the midterms, only 0.2 million people voted, which means there were 1 million people who had access mail-in voting that didn't vote. And then to add insult to injury, here we have the Secretary of State, who is supposed to be the constitutional officer to not only govern the elections, but he's responsible for getting citizens engaged in elections. And instead of him literally wanting to expand access, he actually sues to keep from actually having an election day on that Saturday because of a Confederate holiday. You know, and so I think that, and then the Warnock campaign and others actually sued the state, and as a result, we actually had early voting, and over 90,000 people voted on that day. That whole weekend, we broke records. And so I think that black folks sent a message loud and clear that, one, we will not allow you just to suppress our vote. That, two, you can't just pick a candidate with a black face and think that it can run a ball and think that in some way we're going to go for that. And number three, that we have real serious policy concerns in our community and that we're going to stand up. Black folks showed up and showed out. So I just want to thank you. Thank you, Georgia. We did it.
Well, and the thing is, they thought after 2020, this ain't going to never happen again.
Absolutely.
We're going to change the law.
Absolutely.
To stop y'all. No, didn't happen.
Because we keep coming. We keep coming, and I think that's what we have to recognize, that this isn't just about participation. We have to be relentless as the other side is to help suppress us voting, to try to suppress our vote. We have to be more relentless in making sure that we get out the vote. Because this isn't just about participation, as you know, Roland. This is really about power. And this is around how do we stand in the fullness of our power, our collective power, and literally push back those that seek to try to marginalize us.
You know, the thing that I just try to keep getting our folks to understand is if we would just believe in us.
Oh, that is the issue.
If we voted at 65 and 70 and 75% of our numbers, we could sweep this state.
Oh, absolutely.
And sweep other states.
Absolutely. This isn't really about the candidate or the parties or the campaign. You know, as one of the phrases that we use for Black Voters Matter is, it's about us, because that's fundamentally what we believe, that ultimately when we show up, we win. Part of the voter suppression wasn't because we were losing, it's because we were winning. And I agree with you. I don't think that the biggest issue is to get us to believe in this system. We know that this has been a racist system that has marginalized black folk from the time we've been here. We know that there is still within every single system was built to protect white interests. We understand that. Our goal, particularly at Black Voters Matter and our Action Fund, is to get black folks, to remind black folks to believe in us. Like, we should be supporting black media, right? That's why I'm so happy that we're here because you provide a platform for us where we can be unencumbered, we can tell the truth, we can share our analysis in a way that really speaks to our perspective. We also need to make sure that we understand that when you are a minority group, that your power is your collective power. That when we show up in numbers, that's what makes the difference. And so that's another thing that I think that we've been able to drill and organize around in Georgia. And then I think our message in Georgia has been very clear that this campaign is really about us, that we're going to send a message that if you come for us, we're going to treat you accordingly. If you come for us, we coming back, and we coming back strong.
And see, that's the thing for me, that when our folks believe,
when we believe,
and they see it. So here's my deal, black folks. We showed it in 2020.
That's
in
right.
Georgia, Biden and Harris, with Ossoff, with Warnock. Now you come back 2 years later, and you do it here. And the other thing is this here. This election here should send a signal to those white Democratic media strategists who pissed off the Mandela Barnes campaign.
Right.
They ignored Milwaukee.
Oh, they could have won that.
Sherry
They could have won
Beasley's
North
campaign
Carolina.
Could have won that.
Absolutely.
They made no effort
Right.
to activate the black base.
That's right. Because, there's a difference. Let me tell you about.
And Tim Ryan
That's right.
did not target black people in Ohio.
That's right.
Go ahead.
I think that's the difference with black folk. If black people only supported or only engaged what was like an obvious win for us, what would we have supported?
And we need the black candidates to damn it say,
right.
hey.
We need the black candidates to actually say that part of my base, who is going to carry me over, who my foundation is, are black voters. And so what we often see is just as you talked about, we see white consultants from the Beltway to actually make these decisions on telling candidates to spend all of their money on air. Right, when you've got to have not only an air war, this is an air war and a ground war. You've got to feed the ground and the field and also make sure that you're in the air. But even when you're in the air, who are you talking to?
That's
when
right.
I talk to young voters are not looking at network news.
That's right.
Or mainstream news. They're looking at the internet. They're getting their news from the internet. My niece told me the other day, I asked her how she was getting her news. She said TikTok. I was like, TikTok? Right, so there's unconventional ways that they're actually getting their news, and we actually have to be able to speak to that. And I think that we understand the nuances of how to communicate to our people. We understand the nuances of what to communicate to our people. And over again, what we have shown is that when we're leading those processes, bam, we get it done.
Look, here's a perfect example. We came on live an hour ago. 1,100 people. We are now at 8,400. That's just on YouTube. I'm not including the app or Facebook and the rest of them. And the thing, and this is the other piece that matters. Spike Lee flies in. They tell me he's coming. I hear Spike. Spike comes by. Omar Dorsey comes by. I hit the mayor. He comes by. You and Cliff and Mark. And the other thing is for black folks, for black candidates.
That's right.
For black folks, talk to black-owned media.
Absolutely.
Don't ditch us
Absolutely.
and ignore us and run to MSNBC and CNN.
Absolutely.
Help build this ecosystem.
Absolutely. Right, because we need you. We need black media so that we're literally telling our story. We've seen where some of this
and not
white
hoping
strength.
they call. I mean, look, you ask people to put out videos saying, we miss Tiffany. Well, here's the deal. Tiffany got fired by MSNBC. Only person who can fire me is God.
Say it. What you say? I think that's a word. That's a word, Roland. Come on, what you saying?
I mean, but that's the
I
whole
understand.
point. And so we cannot, I just keep saying, we can't be in a position where we're asking somebody else, please, baby, please, can y'all put us on?
Absolutely.
We got to have a direct conduit to our people.
Absolutely. I mean, I think this is the evidence of it. I think when you look at the Black Star Network, I think one of the beautiful things that you've done, Roland, is that the community actually rallies around, and you gave an opportunity for us to support you. The one thing about black folks, and I've actually done a lot of work in philanthropy, is that we're actually giving our income. We're one of the largest givers. In the country, right? Normally, we give to the church, right? Because that's an institution. That's an institution that we have history with, that we're identified with, and so we really have to recognize and understand that black independence means black freedom, right? And in order to get black independence, it's going to take black dollars, right? And we need dollars to support this kind of work so that we have this platform, so we can have a Spike Lee that can come up, because part of the reason why we're coming is because of relationship. We've got relationship with you and understand the importance of this platform and the importance of getting the message directly to our people in a way that is unfiltered.
And see, what I keep telling our folks, that why they got to support work that y'all doing, y'all are doing this stuff 365.
That's
because in the past, it was always, well, let's jumpstart it when election is around. No, because after this, next year, they're going to be local mayoral elections.
Absolutely.
School board elections, DA races, judicial races, state rep, state senate, gubernatorial. Every year, there is an election somewhere that impacts black people.
Absolutely, because for us, it isn't about an election. I want people to be real clear. It is really around how we building out the infrastructure. How do we build out the entire ecosystem for power? We're unapologetic around that. And we also recognize that while voting has a tremendous amount of power, it is not the only source of power, that it is one very, very important key. And so for us, we're engaged in a process 365 days out of the year of really getting our people to center this notion of we've got to build power. Even tomorrow, we actually have our bus going down to Louisiana. A lot of people don't know that there's still a runoff in Louisiana. We don't stop the work. We show up and we ride because we need power, as much power. When your community is under attack, when you are under-resourced, when our children are going to schools that they don't have what they need, we cannot afford to just step back. We've got to be unapologetic about literally seeking power, and one of the ways to do that is to build out the ecosystem where we have communications, that we get our voices and our ideas and our information out to us in a way that's going to speak to us. That means that we've got to have organizations like Black Voters Matter that's not about a candidate or political party. We can be as black, unfiltered as possible to speak to our people the way that we need to speak to our people and work with our people 365 days out of the year. We'll call out the Republicans, and we'll also call out the Democrats, because for us it's really about, we have our interest is really around black power, and whenever we feel that's under attack, we've got the freedom and the independence to call it out.
And one of the things that, again, I'm consistently saying is that with the work that y'all are doing, you arrest tomorrow.
Well, we ain't resting tomorrow. Our bus, we leave at 6:50 in the morning. Headed down to Louisiana.
Well, I leave at 6:30 here to Houston. What I mean is, we all got to recharge.
We got to recharge.
We all got to rest. But when the election is over, we must stay activated to now make them do what they promised.
Oh, absolutely. We go immediately into accountability mode. I mean, part of, I think, the process has been that we have been reduced. Our political engagement in this country has been reduced to participation. And that hasn't just been on black folks. That has also been on our elected officials, that quite frankly, all they wanted to do is to round up the Negro vote. Let's just round them up, come vote for us, and then go on back to your communities. We know what to do, and we know what that has gotten us. And so what we have to do is we have to stay engaged in a way that really is about power. It goes beyond participation. This ain't about just participation. We want power, and we have to be unapologetic about it. But when you want power, you can't stop. When you want power, you have to continue to build and build and build. And that's what we've done. We actually, when Cliff and I started the organization in 2017, we didn't have any money. Right, we started with, I think, $1,200, our first donation, and then we wound up in getting engaged in the Alabama election, where we raised like $200,000 in 9 days and gave that money out. But we were very clear that we wanted to create Black Voters Matter Fund, an organization that would support and put money on the ground to grassroots groups. And so after this election, I'm really proud that what we have done over the last 5 years is we've actually distributed, re-granted, i.e. we've invested over $30 million into Black-led grassroots groups on the ground. That means we've actually written checks and given those resources to them and continue to work with them as a thought partner on the ground consistently. We didn't see in Georgia where two counties that actually went for Walker actually flipped this last election and went to Warnock, and that was actually fueled by Black voters.
Well, look, y'all are doing the work, and I said it before, folks, when we launched this show, Ask Me, Lee Saunders was our first partner, and we launched it. Black Voters Matter has been a partner from the beginning as well, along with Melanie Campbell, Reverend Dr. William J. Barber, and I appreciate it because, again, I tell folks, it's like what y'all do. Y'all, this stuff ain't free.
This ain't free.
Like the travel, the per diem, the staff, these cameras.
That's right.
I keep telling y'all watching at home right now, literally what's sitting before you right now is about $150,000 worth of gear. And so that's what I'm always trying to explain to our people, that we can't keep saying we need it if we don't fund it.
Right. When we got it,
right,
we got to sustain it.
Right. And that's the key. So the work that y'all doing is phenomenal. And so congratulations. An amazing, amazing general election, this runoff election. I know y'all leaving early. Next year y'all going to Louisiana. What's happening there?
In Louisiana, there's a runoff. There's a there's a runoff happening in Louisiana in this last election. That the election is on Saturday. And so our people are out. I'm trying to get enough energy to get my mind right to figure out how we're going to go this next week. But we're going to, my brother Cliff always says, start strong, finish strong. So we're going to finish strong. Now, I'm going to give me some sleep, right? I'm going to give me at least one spot treatment.
Wait a minute.
One spot treatment.
Look, that's why I had to get the sleep ring so I can literally track my sleeping stats so I know if I'm getting the right rest. Because same thing. It's been crazy the last 3 months. We got to get our rest.
We got to get our rest. But I do want to say to Black people and the Black folks that are watching this, because oftentimes we hear kind of critique of what Black folks don't think and what they don't do. Y'all, we are the bomb. I just got to say,
that's right.
Black folk got it going on. Given all that we have experienced in this country, right, given all the barriers, we continue to rise and rise. And so there have been so many, not only the Black voters in Georgia, but there have been so many people who have come to Georgia to support us, to help us, to volunteer on the text messaging campaign. We've texted millions of people. There have been so many folks who have actually come and volunteered and even provided their platform for us to get our word out. So I want to say to you, Roland, thank you, brother. You always create a space for us, and we're grateful to you. And I want to say thank you, Black people. Thank you for believing in the power of Blackness, standing in it, feel blessed by it, and keep it going, y'all. We won't black down.
Latasha, always good to see you.
Good
Great
to see
job.
you, brother.
I appreciate it. Thank you. All right, folks. Damario's going to come over here. Damario, take a seat. Tasha, I appreciate it. Folks, we are, look, y'all. I am, tell Damario, come on. And I'm going to say this, and I'm being serious, y'all. I'm almost in tears tonight because this is precisely why I created this show and why I created this network. And I'm going to give y'all the giving information. I appreciate y'all giving on YouTube, but I need y'all to give to us direct. So we get 100% of the money. I'm going to check in money orders, P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C., 20037-0196. It's like 8,000 of y'all watching. Y'all, give the Cash App, $RM Unfiltered. PayPal, R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo, RM Unfiltered. Zelle, Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. I wasn't joking when I told Latasha, this is $150,000 worth of gear. Staff, SUV rentals, hotels, food, thousands of dollars. And so, and literally, I sent somebody a text, and I said the Cash App is $RM Unfiltered. And I sent somebody this text, and I was dead serious when I said I was almost in tears while Latasha was talking. Because I need y'all to understand what y'all have witnessed tonight. The election of a black United States Senator, the re-election. But the show that you are watching right now, you're not getting this from ABC, from CBS, from NBC. More black people watch MSNBC and any other network. You ain't getting this. You damn sure not getting it from CNN. And damn sure not getting it from Fox News. No black cable network is live right now. BET, nope. TV One, nope. BET Her, nope. Clio TV, nope. Aspire, nope. Y'all let me know if Revolt is live. I've looked around. We're the only black-owned media outlet. The Griot TV, nope. Tonight, Spike Lee, Omar Dorsey, Tiffany Crutcher, DeMar Solomon Simmons, Congresswoman-elect Jasmine Crockett, Cliff Albright, Latasha Brown, Mayor Andre Turner, Kelly Fletcher, black folks speaking on this election, black folks analyzing this election. My allergies are kicking me up. Black folks speaking to our issues. You cannot say that this show, quality-wise, is secondary to any of them. You cannot say that. Ain't secondary at all. From how we look to the content. And the key is, we are not afraid to be black. We're not scared to say we're black. We ain't scared to swag surf. You missed that.
Oh, man.
And so, I need y'all to understand, I built this. We built this for y'all. For nights like this. And that's why black-owned media matters. The nation's first black newspaper, Freedom's Journal, wrote on March 16th, 1827, "We wish to plead our own cause. Too long have others spoken for us." On this night, we didn't need MSNBC and CNN and ABC speaking for us. Us being here is us speaking for us. And so, I don't care what the haters say. All them new black media people, none of them are here. Not one are here. And so, this is why we do what we do. This is why we need your support. Because we want to go higher and higher and higher. And Demario, that's the thing, bro. And I told somebody, I said, as I think about it, I said I was nearly in tears because when I had the vision, this was precisely what I visualized. Nights like this, us being here on the ground, in the building, doing a full-scale show, not using iPhones to give our people quality black news and information.
Yeah, man, it's a beautiful night. I mean, it's so historic to be here with you and everybody else that you named, and to see that a brother.
This is what Greenwood was about.
Right, exactly. That's where I was getting to. This is what it would have been like if Greenwood was not bombed and burnt down in 1921 and continued to be oppressed to this very, very day. This is what it means to see us coming together, putting our resources together, fighting to push forward one of our best that we can offer in Senator Warnock. A true brother that's part of this community, that's part of our nation of black people. And it just says something to be here and to see black and white and Asian and men and women, Muslims and Christians and everyone being excited to be represented by our brother named Senator Raphael Warnock. Someone we can be proud of, and someone we can push to continue to push policies that we need. Because it would have been a travesty if we would have been talking about the other, with Herschel Walker being elected. That would have been an embarrassment to our people each and every day. But to be here, Roland, for you to bring this, for the world to see that we have talent, we have skill, and when we have the resources, we can put on the very best productions as anyone else. That's what this night is about overall, with you, with Black Voters Matter, with all the people you talked about, with the Warnock campaign. I mean, he had black people in his campaign at high levels, and that made a difference. Even how we being treated as the media here amongst the other mainstream media, it makes a difference because Senator Warnock said, I want Roland Martin here. I want to give Roland Martin Unfiltered a very prominent space to do what we can do. It all matters.
You know, man, I see the comments from people, and I really need them to understand. And I really need them to understand that this is not normal.
No.
This is not normal. In fact, Deshaun, I want you to shoot video. I want you to shoot video of our setup. I'm going to post that. Okay, I want you to shoot it over there and then come all the way around so they can see it. And the thing is, and how many people understand? I'm not saying this for ego, pat myself on the back. But black media should be here.
Absolutely. Black newspapers,
we should
black
not,
networks, black radio.
I told DeMario and Tiffany earlier when I ran the Chicago Defender.
Hey, hold on. Get this lady a vacation. Get this lady, Latasha Brown. She needs a vacation. This sister may be single-handedly with her partner, Brother Cliff Albright. They have made this happen.
Latasha going to be on the beach real soon.
She deserves it. She deserves it.
I always see her beach photos.
Yeah.
She going to be on the beach somewhere. You ain't got to worry about that. But here's a perfect example, y'all, of how I need my black newspapers.
Yep.
To understand the moment.
Yep.
2004, I'm in Chicago. I just took over as the executive editor of Chicago Defender. We all knew Obama was going to win. So I had 1,000 copies of the front page of the Defender. Mr. Obama goes to Washington. The movie Mr. Smith Goes to Washington.
Right.
So when they call the race, we pass it out to folks all in the room. And all the local media held it up. All local media. Why didn't a single black newspaper think to do the same thing? All the black papers in Atlanta, Somebody should have printed 1,000 copies. And when a race was called, passed it to every media outlet. And they would have held it up, and that black paper would have gotten free marketing all around the country.
Yeah, I don't think people really understand how historically significant this is for Brother Warnock to be elected for a full 6-year term from the South. If my memory serves me to history, this is the first time since Reconstruction, right, where you had a black senator.
A black Democratic senator.
A black Democratic. Well,
I understand. But he was elected.
He was elected.
So Tim Scott, South Carolina.
Right. Well, I said black, not black skin.
I know what you said, but I know what you said. Hold on. I understand the context and the nuance.
Right.
Go ahead.
Well, it's still historically significant because, he won 2 years ago, but that was a 2-year term. But now it's a full 6-year term.
Right.
So he can be his full authentic self.
There you go.
I'm not saying he wasn't in there fighting on people's behalf.
But he couldn't.
But he'd be his full authentic self. So with that being said, we're going to celebrate Reverend Warnock tonight, Senator Warnock. But we're going to be showing up at his office saying, okay, we put you in, now we need you to work on our behalf. We need George Floyd Policing Reform Act. We need to get rid of qualified immunity. We need more progressive civil rights judges on the bench. We need the reparations to come up, and not just a bill to study it, which is something we support with H.R. 40 and my Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, Representative Sheila Jackson Lee. But we need the Senate to push that forward. We need you to get reparations for the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre survivor, 3 who are still living that I represent, over 100, 108 and 102. We need justice for Black Creek Indians and Black Seminoles, Black Choctaws and Chickasaws who are being disenfranchised, stripped and stolen of their citizenship rights and their benefits that totals tens and hundreds of millions of dollars each and every year. Those are the type of things that we want Senator Warnock to fight on our behalf, because we have fought on his behalf, not to just be there, not to have a great party that we having tonight, and it's dope, it's lit up in here, but we want to see real policies and real laws that impact the lives positively of black people on a daily basis.
Look, you're absolutely right, because it's called, and I said this about Obama, and folks got mad at me. I said, not the Sunshine Anderson, I said it's called return on investment.
That's right. That's right. That's right. Not a popularity contest. It's not a beauty contest. This is politics. And for those who don't understand, politics simply means who gets what, when, where, and how much, and how. And that's why we elected him, to make sure that we get what we need and deserve as often as possible. That is what it's about. This is politics. This is not a popularity contest. We love Reverend Warnock. We support Reverend Warnock, Senator Warnock. But we need policies to stop the degradation of our people, stop infant mortality, stop diseases rampant in our community, stop putting our brothers and sisters in the criminal penitentiary. Stop these cops from shooting us unarmed or shooting us down in the street. We need economic development that helps regular black people, not just if you are already rich and you can take advantage of some type of a tax credit or something like that, but something that lifts the masses of our people out of the condition that we're in right now.
The folks, for everybody who keeps asking, Senator Warnock has not spoken yet. We expect him to speak within the next 30 minutes. They probably will bring him out at 11 o'clock, the top of the hour. Y'all let me know. To my knowledge, I don't believe that Herschel Walker has given a concession speech yet.
Guess what? He don't have to either.
And so, well, yeah, first of all, it's going to be a little hard for him to even do it. So we are waiting. And this crowd is waiting.
You know what, Roland?
For Senator Warnock to come out. And trust me, this room is waiting. They're going to erupt.
It's going to explode
when he comes out. And it looks like
Herschel Walker talking now.
Well, it looked like Herschel Walker is now giving a concession speech. We ain't carrying it.
You know, Roland, you know,
I'm just being straight up.
I'm old.
I don't give a damn what Herschel Walker got to say.
I heard you.
Look, y'all let me clear. If y'all want to hear Herschel, y'all turn us down, turn your TV up. But I'm not playing that bullshit. Go ahead.
Well, that's what I don't understand. I'm an old football player. I don't understand why people got to give a concession speech anyway. You lost, period. You don't have to get up there after you get beaten in a football, basketball game and stand up and say, I recognize that such beat me. Hey, you have less votes. That's all it is. So concession or not, you lost. Herschel's a football player. He was a really good one. I really liked him when he was just a football player. He understands what it is. He didn't have enough points on the board. Warnock had more points. He lost. End of story, period, point blank.
Bottom line is, Herschel Walker was a damn fool. And the reality is, this race shouldn't have been either that close as it was.
Right.
That man had he should listen to his son. He had no business standing up there. Now, I appreciate y'all running a fool.
Right, because they really made a big mistake. I mean, it just shows you how much they devalue Herschel Walker and devalue black people in general, that they will put someone who clearly has some mental issues. I believe he's suffering from CTE. He clearly was unqualified. He was not a serious candidate. I mean, when the brother said that China takes our good air and sends their bad air over here, that's disqualifying. When the brother talks about he's a cop and he brings out a fake badge, that's disqualifying. But it says something to the white supremacist power structure that they didn't care about any of that. Long as he would carry their water, be a shadow senator so they can maintain power, that's what they cared about. That's why towards the end of the campaign, you saw senators like Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham. They would come down and they would sit on each side.
And then for Lindsey Graham,
and they wouldn't even let him talk.
They're attacking Herschel because if he wins, young black kids will become Republican.
Herschel Walker is, he was an embarrassment to. I was embarrassed for him. But you know what? Let's not talk much more about Herschel Walker because he's a loser. Senator Warnock won this, and this brother, Senator Warnock, you got to give him a lot of credit because he's been through 5 elections in 2 years. He went through a primary in 2020. He went through a general election in 2020. He went through a special election in 2020. Then he went through another general election in 2020.
Done?
And he went to the special election in 2022.
Yeah, that fool done.
And he
Short
won
speech. That wasn't even 5 minutes.
What else can he possibly say?
He probably said, well, time for this old coon to get off the stage.
Oh, man.
And y'all know, I don't use racial epithets. But he actually said, he embraced being called a coon.
I mean, that was probably the saddest, I keep saying it's embarrassing, but, I'm going to say this with all seriousness. His parents couldn't be alive because you cannot tell me that his parents, probably born in the 30s or the 40s, would be able to even show their
My
face.
producer, Carol, just hit me. She said, he said absolutely nothing.
Well, the brother said he didn't mind being called a coon because coons are a smart animal. I mean, that's just disqualifying, man.
Hey, this for Herschel. Hit the road,
Jack. Don't come back.
Hit the road. Hey, Anthony, give me a shout to the Warnock crowd. Atlanta. Hit the road, Jack. Don't come back no more, no more, no more. Hit the road, Herschel. Don't come back no more.
Somebody said his mama is alive, and in all seriousness, have no disrespect for his parents. I was just thinking how hurtful it must be to see their son say some of the things that he said, and they probably know that he was being utilized and exploited the same way he's basically been utilized and exploited his entire life from when he played football at Georgia all the way up to now. It was sad, it was unnecessary, and I thank God that it was unsuccessful.
Hey, Doc, this whole thing here, brother, has been one hell of a campaign. And as we said, we now get to exhale because Warnock is be there for 6 years.
Yeah.
Unlike congressional races that are every 2 years,
Right.
this is every 6 years.
That's right. I mean, it's a big deal, and we keep saying it over and over and over, but it's time we can get real substantive policies and laws. See, one thing that some people don't understand is when you had the 50-50 Senate, that meant that the committees were split evenly, and the Senate has a lot of funky rules, a lot of procedures, and it made it very difficult to move things out of committee, particularly even the judge nominations. But now that they have that 2-seat majority, that means that the committees will have a 2-seat majority, and they can move things along a lot faster out of the Senate. So, for instance, in Tulsa, we don't have a permanent United States attorney. We have 3 United States judgeships that are open in the Northern District, and I think we have 2 in the Eastern District. That's 5 judges
And
that
guess
we
what?
need.
And now that Democrats control the Senate, Biden, time to fill those.
We need you to fill those seats. One thing that the Biden administration had not been doing, Roland, and you know this, any state would only have 2 Republican senators. They were not even pushing judges. So states like Oklahoma, Texas, Alabama, Mississippi, etc., they really wasn't pushing those federal judges. But now we need them to do that they have this 2-seat majority. We got to flood the judicial branch with as many progressive civil rights, human rights-minded judges as possible. And I'm praying to God that Biden has the opportunity to fulfill at least one Supreme Court seat over the next 2 years, because that's been one of our major nemesis throughout this entire process since the Trump's election.
Well, look, man, it's a whole lot of work to do. And it's just stuff to do. And bottom line is, man, again, I need everybody watching. This is what happens when black folks put in the work.
And I'm glad you said that, because what we're seeing now, this is not about work that just happened in November and for this December special election. It is because people have been on the ground organizing in Georgia for a series of years. We have to give shout out to Stacey Abrams. Unfortunately, she didn't make it to the governor's mansion, but her organizing prowess and power and commitment helped.
My dad just texted me, Walker did not congratulate Warnock or mention his name in Concession speech. Don't matter. You punk ass lost.
But like I said, when you win a football game, the loser doesn't have to get up there and say, oh, well, they won. It doesn't matter. You're old news. But let me finish what I was saying, Roland. This is a combination of people putting in the work and putting in the organizing, and that's why black organizations like Stacey Abrams, like Black Voters Matter, Black Men Vote, my guy Frank White and Bill Curt up there in D.C., and many other black organizations that are doing the work day in and day out, they need support. They need monetary support from the Democratic National Convention, other Democratic parties, but also our listeners, because just as we're saying we have to continue to support Roland and other black media, we have to support black infrastructure, black organizations, black entities, and black businesses up and down the line, because that's the only way we can guarantee that we have representation from our perspective, our vantage point, and not watered down by other interests, be it corporate, government, or whatnot. So this is a great night to celebrate, maybe celebrate for the rest of the week. But starting next week, we have to get back to organizing. Because understand, Roland, you know, the enemy, those on the other side, they don't want to lose. And they're going to try to figure out more ways, more devious ways to make sure that more Reverend Warnocks are not elected across these United States. They're going to try to do more voter suppression, more gerrymandering, more felony disenfranchisement, whatever they can do. So we have to get ready for the backlash and get ready to work.
Well, you're absolutely right, Doc. All that has to get done. What's happening? Yeah, I'm live. Come on. I know. Your hair different. Come on. Yeah, I know that. Get on over here. Wait a minute. Hey, folks.
That you clap your hands, stomp your feet, and give it up for your senator.
We're going to the stage, y'all. Going to the stage.
All right. I'm on Rolling Live, and Senator Warnock is coming to the stage.
We'll do you after he speaks.
So we about to listen. It's lit up in here.
They don't have it yet? Hey, Antoine, come here. Wow! Well, hello, everybody. Y'all settle down now. Settle down. Thank you, Georgia. Thank you. I love you too. All right, y'all settle down. I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and to God be the glory. Great things that God has done. And after a hard-fought campaign, or should I say campaigns, it is my honor to utter the four most powerful words ever spoken in a democracy. The people have spoken. I often say that a vote is a kind of prayer for the world we desire for ourselves.
and for our children. Voting is faith put into action. And Georgia, you have been praying with your lips and your legs. With your hands and your feet, your heads and your hearts. You have put in the hard work, and here we are standing together. I want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you to my mother, who is here tonight. You'll see her in a little while. But she grew up in the 1950s in Waycross, Georgia, picking somebody else's cotton and somebody else's tobacco. But tonight she helped pick her youngest son to be a United States Senator. My dad has long passed into the light, but he is still very much with us. I watched my dad, a pastor and a small businessman, take care of his family by working really hard with his hands and using his brain. And he picked up old junk cars and loaded them on the back of a rig that the mechanisms of which he designed himself, one on top of the other. And that's how he took care of his family. But on Sunday morning, the man who lifted broken cars lifted broken people. And convinced them of their value. I would not be here were it not for them. I am a proud son of Savannah, Georgia. A coastal city known for its verdant town squares and its cobblestone streets. Tall, majestic oak trees, dripping with Spanish moss, bend and beckon the love of history and horticulture to this city by the sea. My roots, like the roots of those oak trees, go deep down into the soil of Savannah and Waycross and Scriven County and Burke County. I am Georgia. I am an example and an iteration of its history, of its pain and its promise, of the brutality and the possibility. But because this is America, and because we always have a path to make our country greater against unspeakable odds, here we stand together. Thank you, Georgia. I want to thank my mother and my late father. I want to thank my siblings who are here. I'm one of 12 in my family. Clearly, my folks read the Bible, be fruitful and multiply. Our family was short on money, but long on love, long on faith. And I want to thank my two darling children, Chloe and Caleb, whose brilliance and whose eyes inspired me to work for all of our children. Georgia, I don't want you to miss what you've done. In a moment in which there were folk trying to divide our country, and those forces are very much at work right now, Georgia did an amazing thing. In 2021, it sent its first African-American senator and its first Jewish senator to the United States Senate in one fell swoop. And you have done it again. Thank you, Georgia. Now, there are those who will look at the outcome of this race and say that, yes, you're right, we won. But there are those who would look at the outcome of this race and say that there's no voter suppression in Georgia. Let me be clear. Just because people endured long lines that wrapped around buildings, some blocks long, just because they endured the rain and the cold and all kinds of tricks in order to vote, doesn't mean that voter suppression does not exist. It simply means that you, the people, have decided that your voices will not be silenced. Let us not forget that when we entered this runoff, a vestige of the ugly side of our complicated American story, state officials said that we couldn't vote on Saturday. But we sued them and we won. And the people once again rose up in a multiracial, multi-religious coalition of conscience. You endured the rain, you endured the long lines, and you voted, and you did it because you believe, as I do, that democracy is the political enactment of a spiritual idea. This notion that each of us has within us a spark of the divine, that we were created in the imago Dei, in the image of God. And if you're not given to that kind of religious language, that's fine. Our tent is big. Simply put it this way, each of us has value. And if we have value, we ought to have a voice. And the way to have a voice is to have a vote to determine the direction of your country and your destiny within it. And so we stand here tonight on broad shoulders. Our ballot is a bloodstained ballot. We stand here on the shoulders of the martyrs, Schwerner, Cheney, and Goodman, two Jews and an African American who lost their lives fighting for that great American right to vote. Viola Luiso and James Reed, white sister and a white brother who also lost their lives. Fannie Lou Hamer, that indomitable Mississippi sharecropper. And my parishioner, God bless his memory, John Lewis. Who one day crossed the bridge, knowing that there was danger on the other side, and yet he crossed that bridge while building a bridge for the future. And now it is on us, the latest generation of Americans and of Georgians, to keep building that bridge, to keep walking that long walk, pushing the nation towards our ideals. And so, Georgia, this is my promise to you. The work that we must do is difficult. The issues are not simple, they're complex. But here's my promise to you: I will walk with you even as I work for you. Because here is what I've learned as a pastor. You can't lead the people unless you love the people. You can't love the people unless you know the people, and you can't know the people unless you walk among the people. You cannot serve me if you cannot see me. And so during these difficult days, even as I work on specific public policy proposals and I offer bills and work with my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to get those bills passed, I just want you to know that I see you. I see you parents as you're trying to put your kids through college and through community college and technical college. I see you students as you're trying to make a way out of no way. I see you essential workers fighting for a livable wage to participate in the prosperity that you create for others. Farmers who are an answer to our most basic prayer: give us this day our daily bread, and yet they struggle to hold on to the farm. Farmers, I see you, and I'm here with you. And together we can work through all of these issues. And I want all of Georgia to know, whether you voted for me or not, I get it. But I want all of Georgia to know, whether you voted for me or not, that every single day I am going to keep working for you. I'm proud of the bipartisan work I've done, and I intend to do more, because I actually believe that at the end of the day, we are all Americans. I believe in that American covenant. E pluribus unum. And it is that covenant that drives me to work to lower costs, to lower the cost of prescription drugs, to create jobs all across our state, to address the issue of criminal justice reform. Because I believe that you can have justice and safety at the same time. So thank you for this high honor. After a hard-fought campaign, you got me for 6 more years. So let me quickly do a couple of things. I want to thank my amazing campaign staff. led by Quentin Folks. I want to thank my amazing Senate team led by Mark LaBelle and my state team led by Meredith Lilly. I want to thank Lawrence Bell, who had a crazy idea that I should run for the Senate. I laughed, and here we are. And I want to thank the amazing people of Ebenezer Baptist Church who, amidst the attacks, stuck with your pastor. Thank you, Ebenezer Church. So let's celebrate for a little while on this mountain. Let's dance because we deserve it. But tomorrow we go back down into the valley to do the work. I know that the days are still difficult. The times are dark, but the light, the scripture says, shines in the darkness, and the darkness overcometh it not. I'm ready to keep doing this work. I can hear my dad of blessed memory say, get up, get dressed, put your shoes on, get ready. Are you ready, Georgia? I'm ready. Stand up for workers, to stand up for women, to stand up for our children. I'm ready to build a stronger Georgia. God bless you. Keep the faith and keep looking up.
I'll talk over it. Folks, that was U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock addressing all of the people assembled here, this packed ballroom at the Marriott Marquis here in Atlanta. What is a victory celebration tonight? Senator Raphael Warnock became the first black Democratic United States Senator elected or re-elected to the United States Senate since Reconstruction. Folks, this is a huge achievement tonight. It was 2 years ago when he was elected. To the United States Senate, and he was elected by the people to fill the unexpired term of Johnny Isaacson, who stepped down. Well, tonight, Georgia, especially black Georgia, has sent Raphael Warnock to the United States Senate for the next 6 years. He is the senior pastor at Ebenezer Baptist Church. He is my Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity brother. Folks, this has been an incredible, incredible journey. And we have said this over and over again. This is what happens when black folks do what's necessary. And folks, this is why Black Star Network was created, for us to be here. I made the appeal earlier, folks. Your dollars make it possible for us to be here. Our crew, 4 members, we've been traveling all across this state since last Monday. We've been in Sandersville, Athens. We've been in Hinesville, Savannah. If y'all want to support us in what we do, don't just hit the like button. We appreciate it. Support us financially. I don't have millionaires and billionaires funding this show. We're independent. We're black-owned. We're the only black-owned media outlet here. Blavity, Black Enterprise, Essence, The Griot, none of them are here. We've been broadcasting since 9:30 live. We were early at 6 to 8. Cash App us right now, $ RM Unfiltered. PayPal R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Folks, Send a check or money order. P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Folks, it all matters. Demario, I appreciate it. Folks, thanks a lot, baby. Love you. Folks, your dollars matter. We're going to keep doing this work. We're going to keep building. We're going to keep growing. We're going to keep going. We're going to keep doing that. And so what you're seeing this is what happens when black folks rise up and we do what we do. This is what happens when we lead. This is what happens when we do what we're supposed to do. There you go. Appreciate it. All right, take a selfie there. So, again, a lot of y'all have contributed already. I appreciate it. You give directly on YouTube as well. But if you give us directly, folks, all the resources go right to us. And so we said it. You know, we need 2,000 people giving us at least $50 this month to raise $100,000. And, y'all, we got more work to do. We're going to be covering this stuff and traveling this country. I head to Houston tomorrow, then back to D.C., the studio. I'm in Jackson, Mississippi on Friday to give the commencement speech at Jackson State University. We're back into Atlanta Sunday for Operation Global Hope Forum, Cover Celebration Bowl. This is why we black media must be here. History made tonight in Georgia. History made tonight. The grassroots activists, we featured them on the show. They did an amazing job all around this state, knocking on doors, making phone calls, texting people, having parties, passing out food, passing out water, passing out snacks. I mean, that's what has been going on. When we talk about black empowerment, when we talk about what we can do as a people, when we talk about what the ancestors fought and died for, tonight is that night to send a black man to the United States Senate. Since Reconstruction, Ed Brooke, Republican, Massachusetts. Kara Mosley Braun, Democrat, Illinois. Barack Obama, Democrat, Illinois. Cory Booker, New Jersey. Kamala Harris, California. Tim Scott, South Carolina. Raphael Warnock, Georgia. There have been African Americans who have been appointed to fill terms. 7 African Americans since the end of Reconstruction elected to the United States Senate. 7. 5 Democrats, 2 Republicans. Understand what our power is. Understand what we can do. Understand what happens when we vote our numbers. Understand what happens when we give. No, y'all, in the chat, Chantel Brown is in the House. I'm speaking of the United States Senate. And so what I need you to understand, folks, is we are here chronicling history. We are here telling this story. Joining me right now is NSA UFO. She, of course, New Georgia Voter Project, Stacey Abrams Group. NSA was a longtime leader of the organization. NSA, just your thoughts on tonight.
Our friend Latasha Brown, it's not on us, it's in us that there were people who thought that the 2021 runoff results were a fluke. I think that the state of Georgia and the country needs to understand what the dividends we can realize when you invest in a black electorate, when you invest in a confident, informed, and not voter suppressed black electorate, that we can have the America, we can have the Georgia that we've been talking about, the rhetorical America that we talk about, the one man, one vote. the life, liberty, and justice, and the pursuit of happiness for all of that is possible when you invest in, again, an informed black electorate who can hold people accountable and dispense with the nonsense. I'm so glad that we don't have to deal with the Senator Walker. I don't think it's possible for me to overstate what that would have done for our movement and what we're trying to build and for this country. So I feel good. We're celebrating. We worked our plan. We planned our work. And, we sent the senior pastor of America's Civil Rights Church back to the United States Senate. Your fraternity brother, my former board chair and friend, Raphael Warnock. It's a good day to be a black voter in Georgia. It's a good day to be a Georgia voter.
And so, a lot of folks talk about, and I'm not diminishing her at all, a lot of people talk about Stacey Abrams founding this group, but you just said it. Folks don't realize he was right there. He was the board chair.
Right. He was Stacey's successor. So Stacey's the founding board chair, and Senator Warnock followed in her footsteps, but was a spokesperson for the organization from day one. In 2014, when people didn't know who we were, and they were looking, register 1 million black folks? That's not possible. Who are you? Who's funding you? Where you're getting your money? Senator Warnock was there. There was zero daylight between us and him, and that trend, that relationship continues today. Number one. Number two, what I didn't hear tonight, but I think I would be remiss if I didn't say it out loud, was that we all owe a debt to Stacey Abrams, right? For tilling the soil, for creating these conditions. There is no Senator Warnock. There is no Senator Ossoff. There is no Representative Nikema Williams without the infrastructure that Leader Abrams has built, and I think that that's super important.
I keep saying this, and I was in Sandersville. I was in Hinesville.
Adamsville?
When I was in Athens.
Okay.
When I was in Savannah. And I kept saying, I said, folks, when we were in Swainsboro, when we were in Statesboro, I said, folks, if we vote our numbers, this ain't a fluke.
Right.
We can sweep statewide races.
100%. 100%.
If we vote our numbers, look at the current voting totals.
Right.
If we are voting at 60, 65, 70%, we can run the table.
Full stop. Full stop. At every level of government, right? And to be very clear with you, Georgia isn't the only state where that is the case, where that is true. I'm excited that we get to serve as sort of a proof of concept, right? That there's a clarity now. I know that people from both parties have a hard time accepting it, but there's no path to victory in Georgia without a deep investment and a prioritization of black voters. Republicans know it. Brian Kemp certainly knew it, right? And I don't know if the major political parties are prepared for that, have wrapped their heads around that we can continue to do this. We can have nice things if you recognize who your base is, invest in your base. Period. This is the future. The multiracial democracy that people have been writing about and talking about, it's here. It's here in Georgia today.
I had somebody say in the chat here, both parties not going to do anything. And my point is, our job is to make them do it.
Full stop.
That's what's next. I said, I always say, election night is the end of one process, and tomorrow's the beginning of another.
Absolutely. And also, what is a party without its people? Right? Like, a party is an organizational structure that it is literally the people who make up the platform, who determine the priorities, who determine how it's resourced, who vote in primaries and determine who represents the party and who's the standard bearer. So what are you doing? Who are you organizing? A party isn't a living thing. It is made up of people. And so we don't get to take our foot off the gas. We don't get to absolve ourselves of accountability. You elect people, and then you hold their feet to the fire and make sure that they go to Washington, D.C. or to your state capitol to do your work. Full stop. You've hired these folks, right? And I don't hire people and then not care about their job performance. Who runs an organization, who runs a business where you hire people and don't check in to see if they're doing their job?
I've made a couple of money appeals tonight, explaining to people that this costs money.
Absolutely.
I had Latasha Brown on, saying the exact same thing. And what folks need to understand is activists, grassroots people can't do this work for free.
Yep.
And so we've got to be willing to take our $1, $5, $10, $20, $25 and tie to the effort.
Absolutely.
Because that it's real, hard, laborious, tedious work trying to convince that one person to, one, listen, to two, register, to three, then vote.
Right.
So we keep saying vote, vote, vote. No. It's a lot you got to get to even get to voting.
Right. Well, and I'm happy to hear that you're making that appeal to your audience. I think that it's really important that we invest in the things that are important to us. And in this moment where misinformation and disinformation...
Pull the mic up a little bit. Pull the mic up. There you go.
Pardon me.
So good.
In this moment where misinformation and disinformation are literally poisoning the wells that Gen Z young people get information about government and the world around us, having trusted messengers, having independent media that is covering Black America, that is covering politics, clearly is so important. I think that we're going to be headed into some dark days where just lies, mistruths are going to be flying, and having a voice that helps break down what's happening that people can trust and rely on becomes very, very important. I think that's our secret sauce for sure as community organizers, is people know that when they see New South Super PAC coming or New Georgia Project coming, that we love them, we share their values, and I'm coming to give you information that you can do something with. I think that people feel the same way, if not more, about Roland Martin. Like, the journalist, the brand, the man, and it's so important that we had it, particularly at this moment and going into the 2024 election.
And see, the thing that we have to now understand, Spike Lee was here earlier, and I told him, we were quoting lines from Malcolm X, and I told him my favorite line is a scene where the cop says, okay, you came and got what you want, now break this up. He says, no, I'm not satisfied.
I do remember that line.
And my deal for us is, I'm not satisfied with just Warnock.
No.
I'm not satisfied with just Booker.
Come on.
I'm not satisfied. No, I want all of it.
Come on. I'm overcharging them for what they did to the Cold Crush, right? Like, when there's an activist sister of ours, her name is Mary Hooks, and she often talks about avenging the atrocities that our ancestors have suffered, and also sort of defending or making ourselves worthy of the veneration of future generations. And you're right. Like, a 51st seat in this climate is not enough. Not when we are a couple of days away from the Supreme Court deciding the Moore decision, which could completely gut the Voting Rights Act. That, Dobbs versus Jackson completely gutted Roe versus Wade. Affirmative action is on the table.
Or even the case out of North Carolina with this strange legal theory.
The independent state legislator theory is the Moore case. It's going to be a problem.
Anthony, So I mean, you're right. So what we are dealing with, I mean, we're dealing with some major battles.
Yep.
These Republicans, they are going to be pissed. They are pissed tonight.
Yes, but
and they are going to try to change more laws
right.
to make it harder to register and to vote.
Absolutely. I have a slightly different take. I feel like the majority of them were super cynical. They knew that Herschel Walker was not that bright, that if they could get a puppet in there to do their bidding, that would be all right with them and it would allow them to hold on to power. I don't think that people are that upset. I think they think that black folks are stupid, and we're not. And I think that, yeah, they tried some stuff and it didn't work. And you're absolutely right, though. They're coming back, and they're coming back stronger. They're like the gremlins, and there's more of them. So
right. And
yeah.
so for us, we rest.
Yes.
We take a deep breath.
We drink some water.
We get our voices back.
100%.
We try to get 7-8 hours of sleep.
Ooh.
We try to eat a real meal.
Ooh.
And then it's back to work.
Back at it. Chop wood and carry water. Before the revolution, we was chopping wood and carrying water. After the revolution, we chop wood and we carry water, right? Like that's one foot in front of the other. I believe that with my whole heart.
All
but
right.
I'm going to celebrate the wins, though.
Insane. I appreciate it. Thanks a bunch. Keep fighting.
Thank you.
Folks, it has been an unbelievable night here in Atlanta. Tonight, we saw the re-election of Senator Raphael Warnock. We were live earlier from 6 to 8. We went live again at 9:30. 5.5 hours of coverage tonight. No other black-owned media has been here doing what we're doing. Folks, I've said again, for you to support what we do, your dollars make it possible. I've called for us to do, $100,000 this month. If 2,000 fans give, it'll actually happen. And so, y'all, help us do this. We want to be all over the country. We want to cover the stuff nobody else covers. We want to speak truth to power. Y'all can help us. Join our Bring the Funk fan club. I don't have millionaires and billionaires sending us checks. It would be awesome if somebody sent us $1 million a year to fund what we do. Make my life a hell of a lot easier. But that ain't the case. But every dollar y'all give has made it possible us to buy this equipment, to pay staff, to travel, to buy these pop-up tables. So, folks, we are building something here. We are building a black-owned media company. We are building a black network. Our 24-hour streaming channel launches next month. That is happening. And so, check your money orders. Go to P.O. Box 57196, Washington, D.C. 20037-0196. Cash App is at $RM Unfiltered. PayPal is R Martin Unfiltered. Venmo is RM Unfiltered. Zelle is Roland at RolandSMartin.com. Roland at RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Y'all have been giving tonight. I have been seeing it. I have been seeing the emails. It is amazing. I appreciate every single person that has donated. We hit the 10,000 mark on YouTube. We're being suppressed on Facebook. I saw 627 on Facebook. I got 1.3 million followers on Facebook. It's nowhere in hell. We got 627. But that's why I need you to download the Black Star Network app. We own it. We control it. We don't have to ask anyone for permission. And so we're on Apple TV, Android TV, Apple phone, Android phone, Roku, Amazon Fire, Xbox One, Samsung Smart TV. In 6 hours, I'm on a plane to Houston to do a walkthrough at a venue. And I can't wait to announce what we're doing. I can't wait to announce it. Then I fly back to D.C. I'll be in studio tomorrow night for the show. Then I go to Jackson on Thursday, give a commencement speech on Friday. Then back to D.C. We're back in Atlanta on Sunday for a whole week. So, folks, let me thank all of you for watching. Let me thank the whole crew, Deshaun, our driver, Antoine, Anthony, our crew back in Washington, D.C., full team effort. We've been on the road since last Monday, and tonight is why we did it. So, again, I want to thank all of you. Folks, I appreciate it. We'll see if we can get some rest. But, again, support us in what we do, folks, because we are doing this for the culture, because we are the culture. Black-owned media matters. Thanks a bunch, folks. Y'all take care. Congratulations to my alpha brother, U.S. Senator Raphael Warnock, re-elected to the United States Senate. Holla.